I gave it 2 chances. I don't know what the hell else you want. Well, what are you waiting for? Start the video. Nope. Stars Daniel Kaluuya. Keke Palmer and is directed by Jordan Peele. What's up, guys? This is long overdue. This is Sunday. I plan on getting this review out like the day of the embargo lift. Didn't happen. Halloween Ends happened, the trailer, and my whole schedule has just been engulfed in that. As a matter of fact, last night we did Halloween Ends. First time we've done it in over a year. And boy, this might have been the best episode. It just flowed so well. We went for like 2.5 hours, and it was so damn fun. So definitely check that out. I'll put a card here for it if you haven't had a chance. And it was just fun getting all the Halloween-centered channel, not all of them, but you know, a good portion of them together so we could just all kind of hash out different ideas. Because we all do have different opinions on these movies, so it was really fun. So thank you guys for coming out. We had almost 800 of you watching. And that is that beat the previous record by quite a lot. I think one of the first ones we did hit like 500 viewers. So 800 viewers, damn. Thank you guys for watching for sure. So anyway, let's get into note. First off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. So this movie centers around the Haywood family. OJ and Emerald, they are brothers and sisters. Beginning of the movie, their father is killed in a tragedy, kind of unexplainable, like just, you know, objects falling from the sky. And he gets killed, and it's really bloody and graphic. That kind of sets up the oddness of this movie. You know, even though it's like a UFO extraterrestrial movie, there's still a lot of questions in the air you're asking yourself along the way, which is good. And so fast forward, and you know, it's business as usual. They're in the Hollywood system. They're trying to get their horses, you know, because in Hollywood, there is like a side of it in terms of like animals, because some movies require uses of like horses or even chimps, which that's a factor in this movie. And you know, that's how they make their living. But they see some strange occurrences in the sky, and they get these security cameras, and they want them pointed up, so they want to catch it. And really the point of this movie is they want to capture it on film. You know, they want to get a really good photo, because anytime you look at a video or a photo of a UFO, it's always really blurry. It's like the Bigfoot photo, you know, so they want to get like a nice HD quality. They're even using like an IMAX camera in the last act of the movie to try to capture the UFO. But meanwhile, the UFO is pretty damn deadly, you know? So there's a high danger factor in the air too. Now, as suspected, this was a kind of polarizing movie. I knew, even though I didn't like it on my first watch, I knew, and I even said it in that little out of theater reaction, I guarantee that some people are going to love this movie. They're just going to lap it right up. And that's what they did. You go on Twitter and it's a nope love fest. And that's fine. Everybody, you know, is having a great time with the movie. They see something that obviously I don't, you know, and that's the great thing about movies is we all have different opinions. You know, movies touch us emotionally, you know, at a base level. So one movie is going to touch one person probably different than another. And that's what happened to me. I found this movie to be a little pretentious. I had some problems with it. And, you know, I'm a huge Jordan Peele fan. Really enjoyed Get Out. Us was, I think, my #1 movie of 2019. So he's proven himself as a great director. And don't get me wrong, he's awesome in the director's chair for this movie. It looks glorious. Especially the cinematography in the night scenes. You know, it's a visual feast for sure. And I do like movies that take place on like, you know, a ranch, you know, thinking back to like Unforgiven, stuff like that. Kind of like a Western vibe to them. That was a nice touch here. I don't mind that at all. And I guess while I'm staying on the pros, Keke Palmer is so damn good in this. Like, I loved her to death. She steals every scene. She's so energetic, just full of life, bursting with fruit flavor. And I couldn't get enough of her. I could have watched an entire movie with just Keke Palmer's character. And really, I guess the characters, or some of the characters, are the big pros for me in this movie. Thank God they had some decent characters, because this other character, Angel, played by Brandon Peele, he is kind of like this like Circuit City type employee, even though the store's not called Circuit City. You know what I mean? Thinking of like 40-Year-Old Virgin when they worked in the Circuit City or something like that. But He's just, one of these characters that kind of doesn't really give a shit about his job. He's good at his job, and we can all relate to that. And he's just very charismatic and very funny. And so he provides a lot of the comic relief throughout, along with Keke Palmer. So thank God for them. Oh, let me break in here real quick. There's one thing I forgot to mention. This is kind of a pro/con because there's a scene with a monkey in this movie. It's like at the beginning of the movie, and then it comes in later. But downright startling, okay? I mean, this is a very this is probably the most scary scene of the movie. It works. And I like how Jordan Peele didn't put the camera right on the violence. He set the camera back, and you got to use your imagination, and it works so well. But the con part of it is it was like this side plot that was going on with this character starring Steven Yeun. And it didn't really fit in with the main plot, the UFO section of the movie. It's probably the most memorable part of the movie, if I'm being honest, and I much preferred it to the actual last act. So it's kind of a pro/con. I forgot to mention it, but I definitely had to mention that because it is like one of the best scenes in the movie. So yeah, anyway, on to the cons. Now let's jump into the cons of the movie. Our main character is Daniel Kaluuya, who I love, actually. He's a gifted actor. I loved him in Get Out. This particular movie, though, he really kind of just offers nothing. He is so bland and monotone. And I get that there are people like this out there, okay? But when they're leading a 2.5-hour movie, it can get kind of old. Even some of his reactions to me didn't feel like how someone would have actually reacted in that particular scene. But at the end of the day, a boring character is a boring character, even if they're supposed to be that. You still got to keep me entertained. You got to keep me interested. And it might be one of the most boring main characters I've ever seen in a movie. And also, Michael freaking Wincott is in this. Top dollar from The Crow. I am a Michael Wincott fanatic. He is that actor that got away, that character actor that got away in my mind. He's so good. His voice is just wonderful. And don't get me wrong, I do like him in this movie, but A, I don't think there's enough of him, and B, I guess I just didn't really like the way he's utilized. He's the guy trying to capture the photo. I guess I just wanted more Michael Wincott. I wanted them to crank him up, because if you've seen the work that he's done in The Crow and stuff like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, wonderful, wonderful actor. This is a UFO movie, okay? This does have this flying saucer in the air, and you don't quite know exactly what it is. I mean, yeah, it looks like a flying saucer. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but I will say the final act, I could tell what Jordan Peele was going for. He was wanting more of almost like a Jaws type feel. Just in terms of the music, the tone of the action. Some exciting stuff for sure, but just visually, I didn't like the way, being very careful with my words, the way that the threat looked at the end. It looked kind of silly, if you ask me. But that's not even the big problem with this movie, guys. For me, really, the big problem is it's boring. There are a lot of dry spots in this movie, and I've said this many times. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in a movie is to make it boring. I don't care what type of movie you're going for. I don't care how highbrow or lowbrow you're going for, or low-and-brow. That's a beer, right? It's still got to be entertaining. Don't make it boring. If you make it boring, then you got nothing for me. So luckily you had some nice character moments throughout that kind of kept you afloat. But both times I watched this, guys, I had a tough time trying to stay awake. And that's why I gave it a second watch, because maybe I was tired. So the second time I went to watch it, I wasn't tired, and I was tired by the end of the movie. 2 watches is enough for me, gang. I'll never watch this movie again. I have no desire to watch it again. I'm gonna give it a 2 hours lost, if I'm being honest, because at the end of the day, I wasn't that entertained. I saw the value of the filmmaking, but you got to give me a good story, And you know what? I got to commend Jordan Peele, because I guess there was a Twitter post that somebody said that Jordan Peele is the greatest horror director, even though he's got 3 movies behind him. And Jordan Peele himself stepped forward and said something about, don't dare put me in the same category as John Carpenter. And I'm paraphrasing. He said something about John Carpenter that I was like, that's a cool guy, okay? I like Jordan Peele. He's a phenomenal director, okay? But sometimes you miss. At least in my eyes, I felt like this was a miss. You know, even John Carpenter has some bad movies under his belt, okay? It happens. And you know what? Am I wrong? Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I hope you guys loved this movie. I really do. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. You know, guys, thank you so much for watching every day. And Drumdum out.